Hey there, my creative friends. My name's Melanie. I am a watercolor or mixed media artist, but I also like to work digitally when I'm creating coloring books and picture books. Today, I thought it would be kind of fun to take you on a flip through of one of my best selling coloring books and then do a little color along as well. So, in the last 2.5 years, I've actually created 4 coloring books. 3 are adult coloring books, and 1 is a children's coloring book. So there's my very first coloring book, Magical Merfolk, my second book, Whimsical Woodland, my third and favorite, the Cozy Cottagecore book, lastly, for kids, The Adventurous Alphabet.
Which I made because I have a 4-year-old.
So let's dive in and do a quick flip through of Cozy Cottagecore. So here is my Cozy Cottagecore, the Sweet and Simple Things coloring book. I am a one-woman show that illustrates, designs, and publishes these coloring books. So everything you see about this book was indeed created by me, besides the actual printing of the book. This book is printed through KDP, so the paper is not artist grade, but it still works great for many colorists, myself included. My daughter actually even uses markers in these books. However, if you are a colorist that prefers thicker paper, I am totally okay with you copying your coloring pages onto your own paper for your own personal use. You can also download coloring pages from my Etsy shop to print out at home as well. I totally understand that each artist has their own way of doing things, and I don't want to stop you from creating the art that makes you the happiest. As for my inspiration for this book, I wanted to create a book that felt like walking into the coziest cottage, maybe even a grandmother's warm, inviting home, and just spending days there, relaxing, baking, reading, having so many cups of hot tea, exploring all of the wonderful little knickknacks or forgotten treasures. And then, of course, I couldn't leave out plenty of adorable little animal moments and strolls through the garden or a peaceful meadow either. My approach to illustrating coloring books is to make sure that I provide a wide variety of illustration types. There will be highly detailed images and more simple images that provide a quick and easy win when you complete them. I want to provide images that can suit the various moods we all go through as colorists. Sometimes we really feel like digging our toes in and working on something for days, and then other times we just need something more simple and relaxed. So, if you could use some more cozy vibes in your life right now, you can find this book in my Etsy shop and on Amazon. Books from my Etsy shop are signed by me and come with a few extra special goodies and personal touches. Books on Amazon will be the fastest delivery and the more affordable option. It's up to you. And if you color one of my illustrations and share it on social media, make sure to tag me at The Swimming Owl, and I will love to share your lovely work. So I hope you have enjoyed this lovely little flip through of Cozy Cottagecore. Next, I would absolutely love to pick out a page and do a little color along with you. First, I am going to show you right now my own personal copy of this book. I have so far colored this little cozy scene, this window scene, and I've also done one other one that I did during a little coloring date with my daughter at a coffee shop. We worked on this one. She did her own book and I did mine. I 100% recommend having a little coffee and coloring date with a loved one or your best friend or your child. It is such a good time and good vibes and will make you feel so much better. For today's color along, I'm going to choose something on the simpler side so that I can get that great hit of dopamine for accomplishing or finishing something in one sitting. So we're going to tackle this little mushroom and flower page. Okay, so just a couple of quick setup tips for us here. Make sure to tuck something between your pages before you get started to prevent any kind of transfer or indentation happening to your pages below. If you purchase my book on Etsy, I always send a backing board along with your new coloring book, so that way you have something to do, something to tuck between your pages, just like that. If you purchase this on Amazon, you just need a couple of blank sheets of paper that you can tuck between your pages as you're working. It will work just fine. Then I'm just going to clip this here, so that way it kind of holds my page down and I don't have to worry about this continuing to kind of pull up. Next, you absolutely can kind of erase away a colored pencil if you make a little mistake where you don't want it. It's not going to work perfectly, but sometimes it does the trick for me. So a little soft eraser like this, it can lighten things up if they've gotten a little too dark, or you can get rid of, like I said, any little stray marks. Next, I love my electric sharpener. It saves my hands. I do have trouble with my hands sometimes, which we can talk about in another video sometime. But I use an electric sharpener. I don't even know the brand of this. Matte. I don't know. Any kind of electric sharpener, great. I love it. As far as colored pencils go today, I am kind of just using an assortment because this is what I have. I have some Staedtler watercolor pencils, some Prismacolors thrown in here, and then some vintage Faber-Castell Mongol pencils, I guess is what they're called. So I just have an assortment, and I'm just going to kind of choose colors as I go here, and we'll just kind of chat and work. So what kind of colorist are you? Personally, I am a very relaxed, laid back kind of colorist. This is something I do to quiet my mind and to create something that has no pressure. I am coloring and doing something that I don't expect to earn an income from. I don't expect to turn this into some like finished masterpiece to sell. I am doing this purely for mental health, relaxation, and fun. I'm also very laid back in my approach to the actual style of coloring. I am okay with accidentally coloring outside the lines. I'm okay with little mistakes. My technique tends to be to put down one color and then layer up other colors and shadows as I go. I really like playing with color and adding in kind of unexpected colors here and there. That's very much my style. I don't like to go for realism. I like to go for playful and whimsical. I truly find coloring to be just such a healthy, positive hobby. And I love that you can do it with friends and loved ones, or you can do it by yourself. You can do it while you watch television. You can have music or an audiobook playing, but it still requires you to not be scrolling on your phone. Your hands are busy, your eyes are busy doing something positive. You're not doom scrolling. You are creating instead of consuming, which is just, it is the best feeling. And after you complete a page, again, the best feeling. My point of view on coloring books is also somewhat unique in that I love creating coloring pages, possibly a little bit more even than I like coloring them. So I like creating these for you and other people to enjoy as much, if not more, than coloring them myself. I just find the process really fun that I can create any world or thing for somebody else to put their own magical spin on through color. I find that really cool. And so I thought it would be kind of fun to tell you about how I got started with creating coloring books real quick. So get ready for story time. So we have to travel back in time a little bit to March of 2019 when I gave birth to my daughter. For that first year of her life, I was totally consumed with motherhood and learning about what the heck to do as a mother and figuring that all out. So I barely had time to think about or miss my art making practice. I was still consuming like art classes and whatnot and watching a lot of people create art. And so slowly it started to creep back in. Around that 1 year mark after having her, I really started to miss art making. But having a small child like that, a baby, getting art supplies out all the time or having them out, just it wasn't super realistic for me to be able to do that. So enter the iPad. I was watching a lot of people creating this work digitally in Procreate through classes and just really wanting to give that a try. I had been interested in digital art since a teenager. I first, saw some of my first digital art through DeviantArt and just was mesmerized by people creating these beautiful pieces through digital means. And so finally, in 2020, I purchased an iPad and Procreate, and my entire world changed. And I feel like it kind of saved my life so that I could actually get back to art making, because it is something I have to do. Like I need to do it. I'm driven to do it. And so that iPad opened up my world and I started creating coloring pages. My daughter was starting to use crayons and pick up crayons at around the 1.5 year mark. And I started making little custom coloring pages for her. And I just was blown away that I could do this and that it was so fun and easy to do. I couldn't stop. And so the idea came to try and create my very first book, which was my mermaid coloring book. I couldn't get this mermaid idea out of my head and I had to pursue that first. Now that book is not a bestseller. It kind of fell flat. I sold quite a few at the beginning and then it just dropped off the map. But I wasn't deterred. I had learned so much about the entire process and building a book and publishing. And so I kept going, and now I've got 4 books done and I'm not stopping anytime soon. I absolutely loved the process. I love creating coloring books. It takes me a little longer than most because I truly do put so much intention and thought into them. I'm not copying and pasting anything. Like, it's not AI. Like, it is truly hand done. And the concepts are all mine. And so they take me a while, but I hope to keep creating 1 or 2 books a year as time allows. That's what my goal and hope is to create 1 to 2 books a year. I am currently working on my next one. It is going to be kind of a mashup of themes. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a hint now about it. It's going to be a mixture of florals and garden botanical themes mixed with antique vintage treasures. So that's what I'm hoping to do next. However, my 4-year-old is pushing very hard for me to create a fairy coloring book next, but I think that one will come later. We'll see. But if you have an opinion on the matter, feel free to let me know below what you would love to see next. Speaking of fairies, though, I do have a super cool collaboration coming up in March of 2024. If you are a subscriber to Coloring Heaven, they're a pretty popular coloring book creating company. They have artists that create works for them. They asked me to be one of their discovering spotlight artists for March, and so I created an exclusive design for them featuring a fairy, and that will be available to their subscribers next year, which is really exciting, and I can't wait to hopefully have more colorists find my work and my books, because ultimately that is the goal, is to spread more joy in coloring books to more people. So allow me to flip the tables on you for a second. I would love to hear about you. in your coloring experience and likes. What kind of subjects or themes do you enjoy coloring? Do you like portraits? Do you like animals? Do you like still life? Do you like grayscale coloring? Tell me all about your favorites and how do you like to color? What are your favorite supplies and what do you like to use? Do you listen to music or watch TV or do you do this with friends? I am here to start to cultivate a community and connect with you and learn about you too. So let me know in the comments what you're comfortable sharing. So at this point, I'm going to let you sit back and relax and either color along with me to the music or just watch to the music. Or maybe you're not even listening to me at all and you've muted me and you're listening to your own music, which I love. I love that for you. And if there are any topics you'd like me to tackle in the future during a color along like this, let me know. I'd be happy to talk about something that interests you. But for now, enjoy this color along. I'm going to pop back in at the end to talk to you about one tip I have if you're new to coloring that I'm going to show you as I work. And then I'll give you also a lovely little goodbye. But for now, enjoy some more coloring. Alright, so here is that tip as promised. Something that I really enjoy doing that really has elevated my work is to not use black to add in shadows and dark areas. Instead, I will use a purple or a blue. In this case, I'm using this kind of dark mulberry color to put in the shadows on literally everything. And I really like this effect. It adds this purpley shadow instead of dulling things down with black. So that is my very little pro tip for you. Use purple or a dark blue to put in your shadows. It will make things pop and look more colorful. So I hope you enjoyed this video, the flip through, the color along, and just getting to know a little bit about me and my story and how I create coloring books. It has been lovely to have you here. I hope to make more of these for us in the future. In a second, I will give you a nice overview of how the entire page turned out, and I want you to take note of the fact that I have colored outside the lines in a lot of spots, and some people might call that mistakes, but you know what? It's okay. It is okay for my artwork to not be perfect. I'm here to take care of myself and my mental health and create something that I find pretty and beautiful, and I had fun doing it. Thanks for joining me today. Thank you for being here, and I can't wait to see you again next time.